我哋好開心可以邀請到我哋嘅 Net Teacher Mr. Sang。
Oh yeah.
So what, Mr. Sang, what do you think good manners are for?
Okay, so what do I think manners are for? Well, good manners is useful in our lives. You know, it is for everything, from when you wake up to when you go to sleep, from going to lunch and going to breakfast. Manners is used for everything, because you could go to a restaurant and you could order things, and when you have good manners, just everything just flows smoothly and everything goes your way.
I really like to try to make others feel comfortable. So by doing that, saying good morning greetings, or when you see a person, try to say hello. Or when they help you, even in a really small manner, try to say thank you and appreciate all of their efforts.
What do you think the difference is about between Hong Kong and the UK?
Oh, you mean in terms of manners?
Yes.
I think there's a big difference. Where I'm from in the UK, we learn from when we're young that having good manners and being polite is important. So one classic example, when I'm in Hong Kong, I feel that the people in Hong Kong have less, not as good manners, is just opening doors, you know. In the UK, if you go through a door and you don't hold it for someone else behind you, people will actually look at you and aggressively. They will actually come up to you and say, why didn't you hold up the door? But when you're in Hong Kong, when I hold up the door, no one say thank you. Or someone is about to go through the door, okay, they don't actually push and hold the door open. They just jump in and just slide away. So that's one example of, I think, one of the biggest difference between manners between Hong Kong and UK.
Okay. So what do you think the difference is between the Hong Kong people and the USA?
There's quite a bit of difference in terms of being polite. For example, in America, we say thank you a lot. Just for the little things we do, just anything, just going to the shop when we buy stuff, or even on the streets when you help people. Here in Hong Kong, a lot of people feel entitled to things a bit more, so we don't say thank you as often. Or maybe another example would be, currently we're under COVID, right? So under COVID, a lot of people would hesitate to hold the doors, okay? So before that, people will hold the doors and let people come in to the lift, but now they'll hesitate. So less interaction there, and then people would typically stand at the end of a lift. So they would try to avoid touching anything, which kind of isn't really that polite also.
Is polite important to you?
At the start, being polite is definitely very important. And I guess your question is about me personally. I think being polite is one of the requirements I have for myself. So I feel like we should set ourselves targets and requirements to hold ourselves in terms of conduct. I think being polite is very important. So that's why I always say thank you to everyone, to everything. I even say thank you to students for being in class, okay? Because I feel like it just smooths everything out, and then you will then be able to get what you want a little bit easier.
Yeah. So how often do you use the polite in your daily life?
Okay, so I wouldn't class when there's a time I should be polite and use politeness or not, because I just feel like I try and be polite 24/7. Like, it's something that is important and I hold myself up to.
Okay. So do you think people can live without manners in their daily life?
Well, as your question say, can they live without it, right? So I think yes, they can live without it, but the world would be a lot smoother if everyone was polite. So the opposite of being polite, obviously, is being rude. So there are countries and cities and families who just are rude to each other. They still survive. But if you ask me, in my opinion, I feel like if everyone's just polite, we'll just have less conflict and everyone will just be happier in general.
I don't really think it's possible, especially in our current society and the world culture. It's a really important thing, since as even kids are being taught to say thank you and you're welcome and the most basic manners. So it's really important.
5 ways to be polite. First, Say hello to people. Greet people appropriately, gain eye contact, and smile naturally. Shake hands where appropriate, but say hello. Especially to colleagues, friends, and other people you see every day. Be approachable. Do not blame people just because you are having a bad day. Second, take time to make some small talk. Perhaps mention the weather or ask about the other person's families or talk about something that is in the news. But make an effort to engage in a light conversation. Show some interest, but don't overdo it. Third, try to remember things about the other person and comment appropriately. Use their past names, their birthday, and any significant event that have occurred or about to occur in their life. Always be mindful of other problems and difficult life events. Fourth, always use please and thank you. Make sure you thank people for their input or contributions and always include please when asking for something. If somebody offers you something, use yes, please, or no, thank you. Last but not least, congratulate or praise others on their achievements. Praise needs to be seen as genuine. This can be difficult if you feel very jealous or angry.